Good evening, welcome to the Whitby High School question time. The first topic on the agenda tonight is benefits, and I believe, Josh, you have an interesting solution to this problem.
Well, yes, I believe that in this society and the state of the economy at the minute, the government will have to make some cuts to benefits. However, I don't think it's just and right that in our society that they can force people out of benefits and into jobs. I think it is much better for them to provide an incentive, such as raising the minimum wage, to persuade people off benefits, because at the minute people will be earning less on minimum wage than if they had stayed on benefits. So really I can't see there's any incentive whatsoever to find a job if you're on benefits currently.
So Izzy, what do you have to say about this?
I mean, I do agree with Josh. I do believe that the system needs to be reformed. However, I don't necessarily believe that there needs to be the incentive there.
The thing is, the incentive itself is irrelevant. I mean, they can't cope, I'm sorry to say. I mean, our big businesses cannot afford to pay so many more people. It's just madness to expect them to take over, and big, especially considering they don't get the backing they deserve, and they aren't backed by our government who don't buy our British goods, and therefore we just can't expect the companies we don't back to take over the strain.
Okay.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I think, unfortunately, as the situation lies, we can no longer rely on the government to bail out the people who continually use the benefit system as a form of revenue.
But there are people who do not do that. There are people who use it for the correct means.
And I agree with you there. I think there needs to be there's a system in place to help carers, people who are unable to work. However, it should be a means of assistance, not income.
Okay, Abby.
Unless we're assessing people on every single person on benefits individually, then there's no way we can generalise it. Some people do need the benefits. In fact, the majority of people that are on benefits need the benefits for whatever reason, whether it's a physical disability, whether it's a mental disability, or whether it's looking after children or anything like that. They need the benefits, and especially with the job loss that's happening at the minute and people being made redundant at the minute, they need the safety blanket there of benefits.
So you're saying it's almost impractical to judge every case on its own merit?
Exactly, it's completely impractical.
Okay, John.
I think the plans to cut benefits they conflict with the new government's plan ideas of the big society, everyone helping each other, and I think if you have benefits cut, that could mean people could be potentially living on the streets, and if you're living on the streets, you're not really going to want to be helping out people who are living in very comfortable situations. So I think it's going to create big problems within communities.
Almost jealousy.
Yes.
Okay, Sam, what do you have to say on that?
I think Dom and Abby are exactly right. At this moment, the government needs to be extremely careful not to be seen to be discriminating against areas of high unemployment. I mean, there's areas, especially in the north, which sort of was first affected in the 70s and 80s by this sort of decline of the mining industry, but it's now just been affected by other things. Like in Middlesbrough, it's been severely affected by the decline of Chorus and the fact that that community was so dependent on that one business. The ones that's gone, they're all unemployed and there's nothing they can do about it.
Josh, do you have anything to round this off?
Well, I just think, want to summarise on what I said before really, the government cannot just justify forcing people off benefits. There has to be an incentive, and that should only, so therefore it's people's choice rather than being forced off benefits.
Okay, Izzy, and a final word from you.
I mean, at the end of the day, there needs to be a serious reform in our government's benefit system. I mean, it was stated last year that the government spent more on housing benefit than on universities and the police combined. I mean, if we are going to have a system in place, it needs to be, our priorities need to be sorted out.
Yes, but surely one would prefer that you have a house rather than go to university, surely?
The issue is who is getting it and for what reason. And at the end of the day, this is a hard time, and the country just needs to accept that these things will happen.
Okay, well, that's all we've got time for on this topic. Can we have the next question from the audience, please?